Okay, before we start, just a quick side note. Sorry for the weirdness in this one. I think it's also blurry, but I don't know. Maybe this is a new format you guys like to see me in. The darkness with blue, which is kind of ironic due to what we're going to be discussing. And yeah, we need to kind of discuss this because this is just super weird, honestly. And of course, obviously, really dumb and really bad, obviously. And that is, yes, as the title and the thumbnail and word is true, which I did fact check, but though there's very little information, I think, but there is a justifiable reason for that. Other than the fact that it's very bad at betting a lot of money, PlayStation wanted to, or Sony wanted to literally put it over the radar of literally everything because of the PlayStation Play Estate yesterday too, which apparently I guess there's a mega Malmar curse now, which I'm going to be coining that term whenever a company announces something awesome and they're trying to jokingly cover up their shit. Similar to like what happened last year with the Mega Malmar thing. Um, yeah, to jump into it, that's not a joke of the thumbnail or title screen or what you may have been heard. Hell, even yesterday I heard it from my roommate, which didn't surprise me, although I'm like, to say the least. But then I see the confirmants through the Penguin Zero video, because yes, I've been watching that guy. And I also went to the Twitter thing, which is the only info that is there, and I bet there is more, but I couldn't find it. But even alone, it's not enough to make you confused, especially just how stupid this is. So what many could gather, especially since PlayStation, aka Sony, said this in their Twitter, in the UK that is, which is also interesting. Yes, they're like, hey, guess what? We're turning our PlayStation 5 into a car, and you're going to rent it. Or bury a house, and you're going to rent it. I wish I was joking. No, they are literally saying, hey, only in the UK, we're going to start letting you rent your game console. Okay, so obviously, I'm not going to be raging like every other person about this because right off the bat, I'm more just confused and shocked than enraged. But it doesn't mean I don't back up the enragement because this is just really stupid. Because obviously this is leading towards an obvious fear of we won't be able to own stuff anymore for obvious reasons due to the stupid marketing, which really is unfortunate. But also, even then, the only reason why I'm more confused and just angry is because I literally see this as stupid. It doesn't take a genius to see why there's something wrong with this and why this is a TWF situation. First of all, a video game console isn't a fucking car or house. It's a game console, to say the least. You're supposed to invest in it with video games and stuff, to say the least. Second of all, the whole idea is super stupid. Like, it literally is. Like, if it was like, hey, you can rent out games, then it will make sense. Or something like a game service thing, similar to like Nintendo Online, the classic online stuff. Although then again, there's also the issue of people don't want renting online games or a subscription where you have to do a subscription to play video games, which is of course another issue as well, which I get. But at least that's a little bit somewhat makes sense. But even then, there also is issues. This is a different story. This is entirely even more horrifying than that, which is all the more reason why you can definitely tell when I say Sony is trying to hide this update. They're literally trying to hide it. Like, for starters, they only announced it on their UK. I fact checked this. And hopefully my fact check also doesn't become a jinx because I do have a gut feeling they might try to do it in the US, but God forbid they probably won't. Because my current theory is they're like, oh, USA people do not want this. So let's go to UK instead. Which is a very sinister, but give credit where credit's due, smart move on their part. I mean, it's more sinister, but you gotta understand it is kind of clever, although not in a good way. Um, and honestly, I don't know if that's a good idea because that's actually where the country where that whole stop killing gamings came from. So it's kind of ironic they're doing it where the movement started it because believe it or not, it did start in the UK. Do correct me if I'm wrong on that, but still, even then, and more specifically, it does seem like they're trying to test the waters. Like they're clearly trying to test the waters. Although they're definitely not putting their toe or foot in it. They're putting their whole half of the body in already because this has got to be the dumbest idea ever. And it really just sucks, honestly. It really does. I understand the sentiment because it is true. Like, it's very scary to think. Like, of course, I'm not going to try to go overblown, like for example, this couch chair I'm sitting in, I won't be able to own it anymore, blah blah blah, kind of thing. But it is kind of scary because it's literally like, especially since it seems like they're trying to go around the whole pricing thing. It's crystal clear they're trying to do that because of the market going on right now. But this isn't even the way. This is actually completely 10 times worse because once you start doing it, then then other companies will do it. It'll be the exact same thing with like Nintendo because no offense to Nintendo because again, pay what your money, your choice, and all that gobbledygook. But to give them credit, bad credit, they were the ones who give Microsoft the idea to start doing the whole expensive console thing, and Microsoft was like, "Fuck it, let landmine it." Become literally like stole their stuff, like literally, and trying to end their own thing. Granted, that's what because Microsoft is probably not wanting to do Xbox, despite what they're saying. It feels like it. But still, it was Nintendo's fault for starting the whole $80 crap, to say the least. And now we're seeing Sony do something completely concerning. Now, like I said, I might jinx it because right now it's only in the UK. But the fact of that even happening alone is an issue. And personally, the only solution, which is unfortunate, is the fact to not give in into it. I mean, there are better subscription services. Like the only subscription service I only agree with is at least somewhat the online stuff, unless it's hiding all games in it. Because look, I know I use Nintendo Online services, but at the same time, I don't want to be locked behind a paywall every month to play a fucking video game. That's a fact. In fact, right now, the service is okay because at least it gets the classic games and not like, for example, like Pokemon ZA or something bullshit like that. For now, at least. Hopefully it doesn't happen in the future, but it might, and I'm worried about that. But it really does feel like there are better services out there for that, and again, the fact that you won't be able to own your console is concerning because again, that's not a house, that's not a car, it's a freaking video game console. It is nuts that they're doing it, and I may not be explaining it well. I may not be doing a good job of saying it, and I do apologize. But again, I do agree there should not be a rental thing for your console. You should be able to own that console no matter what. And really, it's just sad because there are other better ways these companies can go through the pricing. I get there's a problem with it, especially with the recent RAM crap that's going on. But you could have just, I don't know, actually slashed the prices and keep it that way, to say the least, or lower the prices. I don't know. It's just, sooner or later, I feel like there's going to be a spending cap. Like, I literally feel like there's going to be a limit cap soon where the government will just actually come in no matter what and actually put like a actual law that literally limits how much you should pay on something, slash the prices, and they must stay that way. Granted, of course, that's a pie in the sky prediction for sure, but I feel like it's coming to a point where even the government has to agree with this. Though then again, right now the government is bullshit. In fact, right now they're probably having a freaking Mega Man heart attack due to other things. You know what I'm referring to. But yeah, it's a very, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about this because this is nuts, honestly. But anyways, this is Fluxcast snapping off here, and yeah, I'm gonna be saying darker till the time we go to work. Bye.